All right. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I may have mentioned something about doing a stream last Tuesday, but I got tagged with a pretty nasty cold. Something's going around. A lot of people are getting sick with something. It wasn't coronavirus. It was something way more annoying. But not bad, just annoying. But the peak of it was last Tuesday, and I was in no mood to stream. But that gave me an extra week to prepare, and I'm going to be. And I know I said that in the stuff of what's coming up, we're just on the tail end of closing out 2007. Based on the quality of the photos, I'm probably going to go up through 2008. At some point, I'm going to run into where I'm actually at my current standards. 2008 is probably going to be it. We'll figure out what to do after that. I've got a couple of interesting semi-railroad related stuff. Really cool visits to the old Aberdeen Tank Museum, which no longer exists. Maybe something with the photos at Udvar-Hazy Center, which absolutely exists and tons of people have photos of. So we'll see how that all goes. So anyway, today is a trip I took in 2007 to go out to see NASSAU Tower at Mineola. It's been unfortunately demolished due to the LIRR third track project. I did go out a different time in 2016 to get better photos. I think I only went twice. This time and one of no, maybe I think I've been out there 3 times. This early time and then twice more. But I'm not entirely certain. Maybe it was only twice. I don't know. Either way, I'm just going to begin here. New York is always what is it? New York is always it's one of those things where I'm vaguely close to it. I mean, it's not that hard for me to get to. It used to be easier, way easier. Of course, Amtrak to New York is kind of expensive. The main issue is that, like, it's despite all the trains everywhere, it's actually kind of difficult to, you don't get good views. A lot of people, access to trackside areas except at stations is kind of hard. So I tend to not go to New York as much as I probably should. Definitely when I had day trip ability. So I used to be able to get dropped off on a NJT commuter rail station to get into the city on a day trip. I no longer have that capability. Oops, that's not what I wanted. So that definitely put a bit of a dent in my my New York tripping. Oops. Come on. There it goes. So anyway, here we have just a picture of one in the old position light era of how Amtrak's F interlocking, which is near Harold, which is over in Sunnyside. Today, the back would be full of skyscrapers and stuff because, despite people's claims that we don't build anything in this country, we've built a lot of things in a lot of places. Here we have the famous Q Tower, which, based on reports, it may have finally closed. This was an original to the 1911 Penn Station project, and it had the original OG USNS electro-pneumatic type machine. So it's a pre-model. It looks like a Model 14, but it's not a Model 14. I somewhere have some photos of it. So I heard that it closed, but I haven't had firm confirmation. But it probably has, which is really unfortunate. But it's visible from both the road and the other thing there. Both technically it's not an interlocking tower; it's a switching station. It's one of those things where it's because it's all for it's all yard type movements. Amtrak was able to get them for regulatory purposes. They're able to sort of rename them as a switching station, and I'm sure maybe they have to do less inspections or something. I have a giant quad chart here of the whole area, so I'm trying to figure out what signal bridge that was. It's the E33 plus the 12WA. Oh. Uh-oh. My diagram loves to fall on the floor. What tracks are those? Oh my gosh. That's line 2 and line 4. That's going to annoy me being there. Alright, I'm going to close this window because I want that on the end. Nope. There it is. Here we have nice view of Sunnyside Yard. The REA building or the concession building is still there too. That got demolished. I don't know what they do to stock trains now, but this building here, right there, is the old long distance PR concession support building. So that's where they would, where all the ice and the other stuff for the long distance trains would get loaded onto them. Today with the general shift to commuter versus long distance, that's not quite necessary anymore, and it got demolished for yard expansion and stuff. Huh, that's weird. And I don't even seem to have saved that photo. That's always fun. I have a lot of reference diagrams piled up for today because I'm going to need them. Can I even see the number on that? No, 917 is there. That's cool. And a Metroliner cab car is also there with the original pass-through door that doesn't have the sheet metal welded on it. So coming up, so I said there were two switching stations. One of them is Q, the other one was R. Around the time the Acela building got built, R Tower got demolished. This is where it was. It's still a manned interlocking. There's like a guy somewhere in there in the Acela building with a with some video, with some LCD screens doing stuff. So R is still a manned tower, but the tower got demoed. The good news is I do have a photo of that here in this tower page, R Long Island. I should have one photo of it. There it is. See that building? That building was in that first picture I took. So this is right around the time. There's the R. There's the sign. There's wrote R on it. Right around. It looks just like Hudson because again, it was all made for the Philadelphia, the Penn Station project. I don't know why they leveled it, but they did. But Q hung on for quite a bit more time. There's the Q diagram. So this is about when I heard that R had been demolished. So I was just trying to get a photo of like, well, where was it? Can I still see something? Obviously not. So here we have one of the many position light signals at Harold. Harold was re-signaled in the mid 1980s, and then re-signaled again for the east side access. Definitely one of those things. If you're ever wondering, like, why did they spend all the money on like east side access for such without expanding service? It let the LIRR not only jobs. But they got to just replace Harold interlocking because why not? It's someone else's money. In the '86, they actually had to save a bit, so some of the signals are new, but they used a lot of the old signal bridges. If we go back to that same thing where I can go pull up Harold here, you can see what it looked like back in the day. This was again part of the 1911, but this was an LIRR, pure LIRR tower, so it had a slightly different look than the PRR, the F and the F, Q, and R towers of PRR vintage. Actually, I was wrong. I thought it was 1986. It actually looks like it was this is dated 1990, so they only got 15 years out of the infrastructure there. That stuff. There was an all relay plan. It would have been 1987. So it looks like it took them multiple years to get this in service. So they spent 3 years and a whole bunch of money in the 80s just to basically rip everything out prematurely for east side access. So the question is, where is this? Hold on. Well, I have the diagram here. Oof. So this is the central signal bridge. Harold basically consisted of 3 or 4 signal bridges on each set of tracks. If anyone knows, Harold has a north bunch of tracks and a south bunch of tracks. It's where Amtrak splits off to go up to New Haven, and the Port Washington branch mixes in, and then under all of it is the loop track to Sunnyside, although that really doesn't figure into Harold. I'm looking at it here, you can't see it, but I'm going to describe it. So on the north, I'll point it out in a second, on the north set of tracks and the south set of tracks, there's each about 3 or 4 there's 3 on the north and 4 on the south. So you'll hit a signal, then you hit another signal, then you hit like an exit signal at some point. Then on the south they have 4 total zones of the interlocking. I believe that this is the central signal bridge on the north side. So if we pull up here on the doohickey, so here's the limits, the old limits of Harold at least. At least they didn't demolish the new Harold Tower. The old one would have been right there next to it. There's where the old relay hut is. That's gone. So the old signal bridge that we're looking at would have been like right in here. So we have this end here with gate. Anyway, it's somewhere. It took me ages to figure out how to describe the Harold signal bridges. Another thing is it's always hard, especially with these major terminal, especially in New York, is just the labeling is just So here we have wood interlocking on the old one. This was re-signaled pretty early on in anticipation of ESA. I think it wasn't much beyond 2008. So yeah, the new signal things are up. Eastside Access took like freaking 20 years, and there was a lot of prep work because of all the outages and stuff. Ultimately, like I said, they were able to fold a lot of like state of good, a whole bunch of sort of state of good repair things into ESA. That's always New York's thing. It uses mega projects to just do basic maintenance. When Hurricane Sandy killed things, they used Sandy money, which was only supposed to be for Sandy-related damage. They used some of it to replace all the light bulbs, like in the system. My friend mentioned that, like, they got, they skeezily went and spent effectively, it's spending, federal capital money on consumables. You're not supposed to do that. So I have this wonderful LIRR track diagram that people FOIA'd for during its PTC plan days. But it's the layout is abysmal, and it's really, really hard to find stuff. I have an earlier LIRR diagram, mostly in physical form. I had a digital copy, but the digital copy was like a weird PDF format that Adobe no longer supports. So here we are at Valley Stream. It's just, they don't put you'd think that the first track would be on the main line coming out of Penn Station, and it's not. It's like the Atlantic branch, or Montauk, so it starts in LIC. I hate this diagram. It is so hard to figure out where anything is on it. I think the main line is all the way at the bottom. This diagram is also from 2011, so it's kind of out of date now. Oh, God, I hate this diagram. There's a system map. So it's Valley Stream. Babylon branch. There's Jamaica. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's in the middle. I gotta remember the page number here. The new Adobe is actively unhelpful about like telling you things like page numbers. Oh, there it is. Looks like 104. Okay. So this is the what? Oh, because it's on Port Washington, they have different names. So it's the W1E and the W2E. So Washington 1E, Washington 2E. Because at this point, while there's 6 tracks, 4 of them are mainline and 2 of them are Port Washington branch. W1E. Sorry if that took a few minutes there. And I guess I was aware that they were going to start getting replaced, because I made sure to take some photos of these guys. I did get out before about a year later when these were really getting on track to bite it. So I got some okay photos. But at the time, I didn't have my camera, while better than my original one, still wasn't like the 30x zoom mavens they've got today that I use for my little point and shoot, my mid-range camera needs. Those are super helpful getting you in from all sorts of places, which is another handicap back in the day for me. Here we have today the signal bridge has a mix of color lights. So part of it was extending wood interlocking to cover both. They may have put some switches on the main line and the Port Washington. And again, it's all for pre-processing for ESA. So this is looks like the 37 signal bridge plus the 2 wood ones. Today the Windows on whatever the LIRR is using, I'm sure I was stuck on an M7 on this one. Yeah, this is 2007. The M1s are gone. But today the windows on those M7s are just absolutely are often abysmal. W2E, W1E. Wait, what? The first ones would have been... What's going on here? Oh, I mixed that up. Oh, yeah, I got it. W2W... At least the LIRR has been super lazy about replacing their position lights. All right, this is interesting. So I forgot how now Jamaica built that giant concourse. This is Jamaica Station coming out in Hall interlocking. It's interesting how I thought that was something in the 2010s, but that's been around for quite some time. It probably came in with the air. Oh, it came in with the air train. So the LIRR is quite secretive, and one of their things is that it's devilishly hard to find. In my case, switch numbers. So if you go to the diagram here, they got signal numbers. They have some switch numbers, like in Herald, but they will frequently not have switch numbers, and specifically for Jamaica. Especially also when the towers were open. But the good news is that I do have some secret photos taken inside Hall Tower that lets me sort of go and grab. It's not the greatest, but they let me go and grab some diagrams if the signal numbers. It's poor resolution. So the question is, what am I looking at? The thing that I'm mainly looking at is this guy and that guy. So we've got a double slip switch here, and then we have this, which is probably leading into some sort of double slip scissors crossover. Yeah, right there. So past the 62L, 58L, that's what I'm looking at. That's the double slip. Hall Tower's directly on the other side of me right there. One second. So now I got to match it to the thing. So there's Hall. There, it looks like the 71, 69. Oh, there it is. 71, 69, 70. Okay. Double slips of 2 levers. One of them is clearly number 71. I can't read that second one, but you can go down to where the next one is. So here we have 69. So it's either, I think it's 7169. Yeah, 7169. This is 69, 70, 67. There's the other end of the 67 switch. and that is, not sure what that one is. Okay, either way, I don't need it. It looks like it says 9 for that single guy. Yeah, maybe it is the 9 switch. Okay. All right, okay, let's see here. Hall. Okay. So again, this is the issues that I get when I'm doing New York stuff. It's very complicated, very irritating. See, now we have another double slip. Can't tell which one it is. I know that I didn't notice what these were back in the day. I didn't have any of these diagrams that I'm currently using. I cut this photo completely. It's a nice sort of shot of the double slip there. Let's try rotating it. Better. Okay, back to the photo. We're on this track here. That means this double slip is the 5553. There's a cool movable point diamond there. We'll talk about movable point diamonds later. They will come up again, trust me. So there's an interesting thing with the air machines and movable point diamonds that will warrant a discussion. And so another thing that the LIRR did to make things at least slightly easier in more recent times, they put labels on all the signals. Like they tell you the lever number on them. And in 2007 they had not done that yet. So it's sort of LIRR hard mode. Back in the day it was absolutely LIRR hard mode. Now this I can go to my normal diagram for. This is the 52RA and 52RB dwarf signals. They're right there. And here we have M7. Oh, yeah, it's another great thing in the LIRR. They don't have to put numbers on the front of the trains. It looks like it's 7249. I don't see a lot of signaling stuff involved here, so I'm just going to make this about the train. All right, hey, it was a struggle, but we got through the first set there. Anybody have any questions? Nope, don't see any. So, I remember in the early 2000s there was a huge scare. The LIRR was going to convert en masse to color light, and this was actually the first color light outside of the tunnels. The first color light signal as a trial that they installed. Good news was in the short term they backed off and didn't. And then in the long term, they went to their reduced aspects, and there's other color lights and stuff all over the place. So this is a harbinger of things to come. Come on. But it's worthy of note. I don't know if that one is still there. So the question is, which one is it? I think it's the 2RC. Yeah, that's the one that would be. So that is an interesting question: is if did it stay that way? Did it get replaced with something else? Did it get put a PL back there? Is it an LED one now? Who knows? So another interesting thing that made life a lot easier especially for Hall, is that all of its signal bridges, like this one right here, have names. Well, names are official designations. You don't have to sort of guess what they're called anymore. All the new stuff. That's the neat bit about the Herald, the new East Side Axis Herald. All the signal bridges and cantilevers and gantries, they all are numbered. So you'll see a sign on all of them saying like SB20, SB14, SB5. So it's Signal Bridge 5, Signal Bridge 4. Really makes it a lot simpler to label. For Hall, now I don't have the diagram here. The diagram I have does not show the informal names, but my other diagram, I have a physical copy. This is called the Meat House Bridge. It's part of Hall, but it's that's what it is. So if you're doing your test for getting into the LIRR, become engineer qualification, you'd have to know that name. Really good angle on it too. Here we have the 36 signal protecting the 35W here. Don't know if I can really get how much I can really fix this. Right about at the limit, because I don't want to lose those points. Alright, that's about all I can do. Oops. This one is... This might be the 35E. Can't quite see. Here we go. So 35. Okay, so the 35W, what? Okay, the 36 signal is okay. 35 west, yeah, west and east is reversed on the Long Island Railroad. 30. Okay. Oh, note that's the old style of signal too. See, it's got the doors on the side instead of the back. So that's... There's like an old one, and I don't know how to describe those. There's sometimes the older ones, they went with the all back. I don't I've discussed it before. Okay, anyway. So that's where the 35W is. The question is... what track? So I think this is going to be 35E, and that's going to be the 35. Okay, wait. Yes, that's going to be the... Yeah, see, that's a whatever. So this looks like it's going to be something different. Shoot. Count the tracks. We have 1, 2, 3 tracks up from the south. 1, 2, 3, then the signal and the switch. So, yeah, see, here's the 98 bridge. So here's the south. So 1, 2, 3, and that's the 34R dwarf right there in the 33 east switch. Okay, cool. Perfect. Oops. Yeah, these are saturated with too much blue. Must have been a issue with the window tint. .33 east. .34 R side. Cool. So this is one of the bridges. This might be bridge 103. I think this is the bridge 98. Yeah, this is bridge 98. But at the north side of it. Yeah, the whole side window photo is definitely what makes the post M1 sort of LIR definitely a little bit more depressing. And the signals on this are, there's bridge 98, the 74R. Yeah, this is bridge 98, that's bridge 103. Wait, sorry. Yeah. I am seeing the 74R. It looks like that 74L and 30L are gone. I'm not sure what happened with those. Oh no, this can't be the one. Oh no, there they are. They're hidden behind the thing. Okay, cool. Alright, if they're hidden, they don't count. 74R, 34R, 36R. Wait, what? No, wait, the 34R is a dwarf. Sorry, 36R and 38R. And finally, we get to Mineola. All right, there you go. We got through all the annoying stuff. Now, at the time, again, when I visited Mineola again, all these got their little labels. All the little signals got their labels. Let's see if this just takes me there. Oh, I already got out to Ronkonkoma. There's NASSAU. Okay, yeah, this is the 2E and the other one's the 1E for NASSAU 2. How did I do that back in the day when I was there? I just said NASSAU 2E. All right. So I need to make sure I don't step on other photo names in my subsequent visits. NASSAU is the name of the county, so that's where the name comes from. The NASSAU on tower on the NEC is based off of Princeton, where they have something called Nassau Hall. It's one of their residences. Okay, so East End Mineola platform. Oops, doing this wrong here. Plus Mineola Station, East End, eastbound platform. Okay, nice. So, for those of you who aren't aware, this was the junction between the Oyster Bay branch and the main line. Now it's 3 tracks. They kind of ruined the interlocking to avoid, literally, because one of Cuomo's buddies didn't want to get his lawn eminent domained. Usually that people love when the state pays the money, but I guess not in this case. Both these tracks, instead of having this diamond crossover, just feed into whatever that main track 1. So great, yeah, they demolished the tower, ruined the interlocking. It's an absolute shit show. They should have added a center platform here, and that would have allowed them to do more movements. So the Oyster Bay gets a comical level of bad service. It's like hourly, and they all the inbound and outbound trains have to pass at Mineola because it's a flat junction. They block both tracks to make the move. So the way to make that work, that was their plan. Their operating plan was to run a crappy hourly service, and you have both trains cross at the same time. So here we have a picture. I think this was my train. I don't know. There's actually quite a few. Even back in the day. Well, again, even with the third track, because of the COVID ridership declines, they never expanded service. So they built this third track. They built ESA, and then they just never expanded service. And then they asked for more money. I'm not going to try to crop this. It's fine. It's got everything. See, I can't tell what number this is because it's like impossible to see where the train numbers are. Yeah, now that I'm not making my way through New York terminal junctions, this is gonna it goes a lot quicker. And at the end of the train, we have number 7563. Oh wait, they do put it on the end. Maybe Metro North is the one that doesn't. That little bridge thing here is to transport signal communication wires over to the old. There's a substation building over there that also got demolished. Happy to demolish railroad stuff, but God forbid you slightly impact a dude's lawn. Now that we're out past in the zone here, I'll show you where this all is. So here's Long Island. Let's go to the map. So coming out, there's the Jamaica complex, Queens complex. NASSAU is right here. It's actually not that far away. It's pretty close. There's the station. There's the new 3-track line, and there's both Oyster Bay tracks going right into it. So all trains having to use the Oyster Bay have to cross over at another interlocking down here somewhere. Yeah, here it is. At least it's high-speed switches, I think. Might not be. But they allow LIRR. Oh, man, there's a whole ton. God, this was so dumb. Maybe it doesn't even allow for parallel moves. So they all have to cross over, and they didn't build an extra platform, so now you're taking up a whole slot. Oh, it's an absolute disaster. And they at least closed the grade crossing. That was always a problem. But the substation got demolished. Oh, yay! They demolished it for a parking lot. Wonderful. Absolutely splendid. They put in a parking lot. You can see where the grade crossing was right over there. So an interesting thing about this signal, it's a standard, it's a position light, but it's the compact form of it that you would see in like Newark Penn Station and such. The position light hardware for Union Switch and Signal, you could shrink the little modules down into this compact state. So you're not seeing things. This is a reduced size position light. I don't know why they did it here, but you can do that. So you have the 1E signal. I'm just going to... Some of these PL hardware, this one is actually pretty new. If I had you can't really see it here, but the stuff, these modules are all of a fairly late model. The mast is some sort of, it's not the old cast iron ones. It looked like it was painted aluminum. These guys all look pretty fresh too. So on one side you had the 2E, which is all in compact mode, and over here you got one that's like half new. Very, very interesting layout they got going on. The operator in there in NASSAU Tower did not have a classic interlock machine. He had a fairly modern control panel. He had control of the whole line. I think it was jointly shared with Divide, so if anything happened, the operator in Divide could take over. The cute little railroad crossing there was cute. I love today, like it's all grandfathered in that you get like little pedestrian crossings, on a third rail line. So just due to the thing, I'm probably gonna. So I only one of these days I get to do a short one. So I'm probably gonna use that mulligan today and just do 3 sets. Yeah, I got 103, so I'm just gonna do one more set here, and then we'll do the other stuff later. We'll see how far we can get. But honestly, this is now gonna go pretty quick. I've got some stuff saved up for the end of the year. God, I'm already thinking about the end of the year. When I have those 5-day holiday things. I've got some stuff for the Port Road branch. And I got another one for, like, Harrisburg-y things. I don't know. So I've got that saved up. That'll be what kind of closes out 2007. But I always have a couple of surprise ones hanging around. I'll check questions in just a second here. Questions? Any? Nope. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. And I got the whole progression of this little signal here. Now it is the clear. You can see again that substation building right there. I'll have better photos of it at some point. I'll probably just keep this one in its original aspect ratio. I've got newer ones. Lower head, again, note how it's in that compact nature, and there's your very British style flat crossing. We do not have a lot of those in this country. In fact, we have almost a comically small number. Now, you see them all the time in light rail, but for mainline rail, we rarely see this kind of what I call the very British 2-track, 2x2 flat junction. The Reading liked them because they hired a British engineer to lay out their tracks. So they had a bunch of these. SEPTA had one at Jenkintown that got zapped. They had one at Carmel, the one to Warminster. That is still there, but it's not a great example. They had a really good example at CP Titus, just south of Reading. That got zapped pretty recently. There's other ones I have to look at the chart. The Long Island, this one is now gone. I'm trying to think where other ones could be, but we normally, if you let American railroads do their thing, they avoid these pretty successfully. Although, again, light rail systems tend to have them in spades. Trying to think if there's any like on the MBTA or something. Anywhere you think you might have them, like Canton Junction, you don't. Like it's not there. It's not in that configuration. Like it used to be, and then they changed it. Again, I'm going to brighten this up a little bit for you here, and you can see how compact this style is. There's nothing different about these except the backing has that smaller dot pitch, and the rods in back that the modules are mounted on are just shorter, but they're the same kind of hardware. Okay. The little red lights for train orders. I have a video of that working. You can check it on my YouTube thing. And yeah, here's where you can actually see how, again, very normal PL. There's a full size one right there, full size spacing, compact size spacing. I do not know why this is a compact. Probably something with line of sight obstruction due to the platform. But they still needed to get it, like they couldn't get they couldn't have it the backings like interfere with the right of way. A whole bunch of these might be sort of signally related. This is what I was really getting into in this this phase. way less, less of a smattering of all sorts of railroad photos and a few trains and like a jillion signal pictures. But it's not that bad quite yet. This is a slightly older model of mast. It has the finial is a little bit fancier. It's not the spike finial, but it was that one that was used like at the later PRR, Penn Central, early Conrail. That other one is just a cap. That's definitely later than mid 80s, probably 90s. You can see the train order light is just sort of a basic marker thing, almost like a grade crossing type of lamp. Those don't have to have the same sort of anti-phantom protection of the regular signals or all the other safety. That's a non-safety critical signal. So, an odd bit. Now, these were replaced, ironically, but at this point, both the switches were GRS model 5Gs. 5H is dual control, 5G is not dual control. They both have integral motor controllers. You can tell by this little wide part right here. At some point, I'm wondering if they numbered the switches. So I'm looking at my 2016 photos now. Here they are. So that's the 26 switch. The other one's a 24. Yeah. (26W) and 24. And they did, by 2016, they had been replaced with these M23s. The GRS is definitely were an outlier on the LIRR. Oh, God. (24) Oh. Here we have the side of Nassau Tower with Nassau Tower operators Saturn. While I was here, they were doing something on the Oyster Bay, and they were hooping up orders, and I got video and photos of the order hooping process. So there you go. There's a little something for you, something for my trouble. All right, I want that LIRR truck in there. Three left. So you can see the train order pickup there. They built a little platform to do the hooping right outside the door. Got a little whistle board on it. Now that's for the crossing, of course. Oh, God, that's not... Man, I didn't do a great job. Somewhere in here I've got to be able to find a... Here's a photo with a name I can use. So when I was out here on one of the days, I don't know if it was this day, it might have been, I think it was 2016. So this flat crossing, though, was a major problem. The area had bad drainage, and they would have to go in on a yearly basis, rip out everything and replace it to regrade it, to get all the issues that would accumulate over the course of the year. So it's definitely one thing. I can see why they didn't want to keep the diamond crossing there. Hopefully they did something to at least stabilize the foundation. Last one for tonight. So for whatever reason, I kept this as the name file for the tower, but I really don't want to. So part of it, and this is going to be a surprise for tomorrow, is we could talk about, like, it has those GRS point machines there, but what's that? Ooh, that looks interesting. Alright, that's a good place to cut it for today. The next time, I'm not sure I'm going to be around. I have a kind of a big break. Won't be next week. Won't be the week after. It's going to have to be something on the order of that week of the 15th through, or not even the 15th, the 16th through like the 19th. I have to figure out what's going on. Oh, damn, I got a training session to go to on the 16th. So I don't know when I'm going to be back to continue this. Wait, did I delete things? No, I didn't delete them yet. So let's see, 2, 3, 4. We got all this NASSAU stuff to do. Got some hooping, and then we've got some more Hall Tower. Then we get on the JZ and head on inbound onto the front of an R42, all the way in through Myrtle Ave, over the Williamsburg Bridge. Maybe we'll see 4th Avenue, and then for random reasons, we're on the Hudson Line. So there you go, Hudson Line. So stuff to look forward to. Don't know when I'm going to get to it, but hopefully some point soon. So all you guys have fun. Let me see if I had any questions. Oh, nice. Thanks for joining. Oh, wait. Oh, Malcolm, with a weird username. With a weird... thanks for popping in and watching. Glad you got my notification email. If there's anything you're interested on this, they will be appearing in my live thing when I get them made public, and I will try to alert you for the remainder of the NASSAU stuff if you're interested in that. So thanks for coming in, Malcolm, and hope to see you. I'll pick you up tomorrow at tomorrow at BWI. Just text me on that one. All right. Have a great weekend. All right. See ya. Stay cool.